Hello, I thought time to make a video. There has been a sort of blockage in energy which shifted on May the 16th. It was also the date of a new moon. For the two things to coincide means it's going to be something significant, and certainly here in my personal world that is definitely happening. I'm not going to talk about that now, but it's a case of watch this space, because there will be a lot to share in an unfolding story. Excuse me. Clearing blockages, you see. That's the body telling on the mind. Sorry about the camera wobble. The table doesn't seem very level for some reason. Anyway, for those of you that want to know about Atlantis and Lemuria, this has just popped into my mind. Well, come and talk to me, because I predate both. Now that might seem a very bold claim, but I can explain that. And if you do approach asking to find out more, then I will willingly explain it, but I'm not going to do it on video. I wanted to primarily talk about these changes that are occurring. Who is that down? Oh, it's Rosie. I've got, you can't really see him. I've got Zibby on my lap here. Let's see if we can get her in the picture. Hopefully you can see her. There's Rosie down there, and Junus down there. It's a bit of a heat wave here at the moment, and they're really feeling it. But I'm not going to complain about the weather. I've lost my train of thought completely now. This is going to be a meander. So in a way, yes, I know where we were. Shifting in energy. You've only got to look at the world of art, the transition. So significant dates, for example, like the year 1764, the first year that Mozart composed his very first symphony at the age of 8 years old. It's like a marker. But he was very much influenced by Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. And Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach has his foot in two camps, that transition from the Baroque into what is called the classical. And you'll find this in your own life, that it won't be an overnight change. So although we've passed May the 16th, things are still unfolding. There is a thing called time in this reality. It's the fourth dimension. The easiest way to show this is if you plant a seed, and if it's the right conditions and you give it water, within a few days you'll see a little green shoot. So there's your fourth dimension. It's not immediate like the other three senses that we have. But just let things unfold, and a perfect way I can explain this is with tarot cards. And I've just had a message about, can I explain numerology? That is a whole subject in itself, and it's not disconnected from anything else. So that would be a lot of typing or a very long voicemail. Maybe it's a subject for a video, because I am going to be talking about a lot more things. But this is where we are all at this point. We start with nothing, the big fat zero, because everything would seem to come from nothing. But it's also regarded as the 22nd card of the major arcana. You start with this card, you come into this world with nothing, as it were. As you progress through, and it reflects in these major arcana cards that you will collect experiences, both good and bad, because you require the contrast. How boring it would be if we just sailed through it with no challenges, and it's too easy. It wouldn't be any fun. So also consider this the opposite way round of the way you've been told. We're never given more than we can handle. In the moment, because it is something new, we don't think we can handle a situation. But just reflect back on all the things you've been through. Are you not still here? You've got through these challenges. Whether you react or whether you respond is going to determine what happens next. It forms basically a Y shape. So if you take the left path, which is one of reaction, you'll basically loop back and you will get a similar experience. But if you respond, if you take the right hand path, it will lead to another point, to another Y. Why hast thou forsaken me is a perfect sort of metaphor. And if you consider the character in that story who's nailed to a cross, he's basically, I can't even show you on camera, but he's doing this Y shape. Because is that not a question we always ask, especially when you go through what are called the terrible twos? Why this? Why do I have to do that? And so on and so on. It's a beautiful game, and very few will say, I don't know. They won't be honest enough. They will normally feel triggered inside and say, because I've told you to. Which is not really a very satisfactory answer. So the zero, starting with nothing. Now I've picked out 3 more cards. The number 7 is a divine number. It is also something we go through in life, a series of 7 in 7 years. There's also other breakdowns, 3.5 years or 1,260 days. But 2,520 days. You come to number 7, the Chariot. One moment, my nose is running now. We come to card number 7. I've just noticed the duration of this video has got up to over 7 minutes already, which is now leading into 8 minutes. It's just incredible the way these numbers just reflect things. I was asked about numerology in a text message, and the time that message came through was 10:44. I had to smile at that. But anyway, number 7 is in the major arcana is the Chariot. It's to do with movement, but it doesn't necessarily mean in a physical sense. It can be a shift inside oneself. It's a very good card because the number 7 represents completion. And it is about breakthroughs, breaking the barrier. When you've reached a point where it seems like an impasse, but then you get the Chariot card. You're pushing through. It's a beautiful card to get. And of course, in this world, as we gain experiences, and again, it's a multiple of 7, we come to number 14, Temperance, the card of balance. Being able to see the contrast of this reality, what we perceive as challenges, and finding ways of overcoming them. I'm going to speak in a metaphor here, that you need 2 eyes to be able to read, but you need a 3rd eye in which to fully grasp what it's all about. And it's nothing to do with the physical, although it is reflected in the physical because we do have 2 eyes. So number 14, it's about finding the balance within inside oneself. And of course, another multiple of 7 before we get back to the big nothing, or card 22, of course, is the fully enlightened being, represented by the 21st card. In this particular deck, it is the Shining Woman. And it's like, is it coincidence that these 3 cards are in that multiples of 7? I think not. There's something else I would like to invite you to try for yourself. And I'll put a link in the description. And what I recommend is listening to just 2 pieces per day. And that is the keyboard concertos of Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. If you have cats or dogs, just put on one of these keyboard concertos. Doesn't matter what time of day or what key it is in, or this is what I found so far, but just notice the effect that it may have on your cats or dogs, or any other animals that you may have that you would call pets, because there is something very magical in that. So I invite you to try that, and just let me know in the comments if it does have a positive effect or even a negative effect, because there is something that is definitely encoded in music, because it is about harmony and it is about frequency. But wherever you are in your personal world, I would invite you to come forward for a tarot card reading, because this will quantify and assess your situation, which will unlock a key. I have been asked, where do I get my information from? It's because I have this book. A book is a container of knowledge, and it comes with a map. And if you look at any map, what do they have on them? They have a thing called legend, with the keys to understanding that map. I could certainly share or show you how to find that map, and particularly to be able to look at the legend and understand the symbols, the keys to the map. The map is of your life path, and certainly with tarot cards, that goes a long way to unlocking that. So I think I've covered all I wish to say at this point. There are going to be a series of videos coming where I'm going to talk about the shape of the Earth and how that relates to us as a physical being and what is contained within the physical being. It does involve the mirror as well. So you can't take any of these topics in isolation. You can, to a certain extent, to try and explain them, to put them into convenient chunks as video topics, but they're not disconnected from each other, so there may be a little bit of meandering as we go through successive videos. But yes, do please come and have a tarot card reading, because it will make a huge difference to you. And I'm really looking forward in the near future to creating a video for this channel, which is going to show you something about this location and how it is changing in a very positive way. And it all comes down from the security of knowing who you are, knowing what is inside you. You see, if you have a perception of this reality that everything is against you, surely the question that must come from that is why? There's that why again. Why is this happening to me? Why is this being done to me? It's not as bad as you think. It's actually something very beautiful. And I'd like to be able to help you have that internal pole shift So you're no longer seeing things in the negative way, but now coming from a very positive perspective, which is basically the keys to the symbols, to understanding the legend of the map of your life path. So yeah, I think we'll leave that there because we're already up to 15 minutes and we'll soon be up to 16 minutes, which is a double 8, which is a double infinity. And do we really want to be carrying on in an endless loop? Or do we want to break the pattern and break out of that? Because there is coming a point where you are going to be able to break free in a very spectacular way. But of course, this realm has contrasts. There is another alternative. You might not find that one quite so pleasant. So all these videos are here to help you progressively to find that map, find the way forward, because it is leading to a beautiful doorway. I'm going to leave that there. I'll leave you on that, just to ponder, maybe even to reflect upon. And I use these words deliberately. I will talk about this in future videos. So until the next video, unconditional love to you all. And I look forward to any requests for tarot card readings because, well, as I've said before, it is my only source of income. It puts food on the table for myself and for the cats. So there is a reciprocal exchange with this. But the real satisfaction is being able to help you unlock things to help you on your spiritual path that are going to lead to a far more positive, a far more conducive and a far more enjoyable experience in this time that you have here. So thank you very much for listening. Until next time, unconditional love to you all. Links and everything will be in the video description under the title. You know how it works.